I'm Matt Mayberry. I'm the Executive Vice President of the New Hampshire Home Builders, and we do this series to help you better your business. Michaela Gordon is part of our Business Bootcamp series that we're going to be launching in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. We wanted to give you a preview. She's one of our newer members. She is incredibly dynamic. She's smart and clever, and she lives in small business land. So we wanted to bring her on to talk to you. And so we're going to talk a little bit about taxes, business preparation, things you can do to make your 2023, salvage 2023, but really prepare also for 2024. So Michaela Gordon from Virtual Main Street, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Matt. I'm happy to be here. So I started Main Street Virtual really as a combination. If I go back to my childhood as a quick little caveat, when you're a kid, people often ask you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And standard answers you get are like firefighter, maybe you want to work as a doctor, you want to be a police officer, something. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be president, hands down, no question. Age 5, I was like, I'm going to be the president. There's no other job. And as a kid, I wasn't really thinking about signing laws or doing things with government. I really just wanted to tell people the right way to do things and make them do it correctly. And I carried that into adulthood of really trying to create something that helped business owners not only follow what they needed to, but provided them with logical solutions to really better their business. So Main Street Virtual is kind of a twofold company. We handle bookkeeping, and then we also do back-end business management. So for a lot of small businesses, that's handling, your email correspondence, scheduling, dispatching technicians to jobs, following up on projects, corresponding with clients and vendors, kind of all the things that makes being a business owner difficult, but also a necessity to keep your business running.
Wow. So basically, if you're a small shop and you're just too busy, a little overwhelmed, they can contact Main Street Virtual and you can kind of just take them from there. Will you do advertising and things like that for them also, or?
So a lot of it depends on the company and what they need. I would say our primary sector is obviously trades, contractors, construction professionals. And for us, it's really more managing everything in the back end. So we work with some great companies that do advertising, websites, Facebook ads, things to kind of take them to that next step. And we work in conjunction with them to get that done. But we find that for a lot of guys, it's really just getting things taken care of so that they can focus on selling the service, building the product, being in front of their clients, and not be bombarded with, staying up till midnight to answer emails or send out invoices or respond to quotes, and just keep it so that their home life can actually be their home life.
I know with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, if you're going to go for an SBA loan, you've got to have a business plan done. And I know the Small Business Development Center does that.
Yep.
But will you help them divide it or create a business plan to submit to a bank?
Yeah, so part of a huge component of having a business plan is having your financials done. So business plan side, you can create your whole outline, your cores, your values, your mission. But then on the other side, you also need to have these financial projections, and not just for a business plan, but also if you're looking to get investors or looking to grow and add more capital, you need to have your financials done. Your books need to be accurate. You need to have a P&L, your balance sheet, all of that. But they also want to look at projections. And so we can come in and do your financial projections and analysis and give you these documents, these pro forma statements to take to your bank or investors that really show them A, what you're worth, and B, it's worth their investment to invest in you.
Good. Because we are in the middle of tax season, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But the dreaded letter comes. Certified mail, you've been audited.
Yes.
Will you go with a client to an IRS audit?
So typically that's going to be somebody slightly above us, a CPA, a tax firm, accountant side. But our goal is to prevent our clients from ever being audited, and having things done accurately with appropriate reporting is a huge key in preventing an audit. So far, none of my clients have been audited. And part of that is just streamlined record keeping. A lot of times it's easy for small business owners, especially starting out, to commingle their personal and their business finances. And that's a huge no-no. Don't do it, but it's easy to do it. And so having a company like us that can come in and manage your books allows you to still have that happen, but we can fix it. So that way, when you're filing your taxes and you have everything, you're able to have accurate reporting and not go into your CPA's office and be like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know I spent a lot of money last year.
What are some of the common mistakes that you're seeing that a new business either forgets to do, doesn't think they should be doing it, but B, also the seasoned, professional, they've done this for 20 years. Michaela, I don't need this. I got
Yep.
it in a shoebox right here. Go.
Yes.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you're seeing out there that are so easily avoided?
Yeah. So, I mean, a huge one, I think, is truly having somebody helping you manage your books before you think you need it. I definitely meet with guys who are like, I've been in business for 10 years. I don't need a bookkeeper. And then I'm like, all right, so like, what's your profit and loss statement look like for last year? And then they're like, wait, what is that? So you do need to have somebody managing your books. And sometimes I'll meet people who are like, oh, my wife does it for me. And I want to prevent them from getting divorced. And if your wife is doing your book, she probably doesn't like you that much. So I'm going to nip that all away for you. And it's really having accurate reporting and management of your finances. You need to understand them. You need to not commingle your business and personal accounts because that gets really messy really quickly. Another huge one I run into is a lot of contractors not always having a great billing and pay schedule with the subs that they use. So they'll have things, they'll be getting invoices from their guys, and the next day they're trying to go ahead and pay it, but they haven't tied it to a project. They don't know what their costs are. And often what they're billing doesn't necessarily account for either new overhead, new guys on payroll. So another component of what we do is a big analysis with these companies of, are they billing where they need to still make their company profitable, A, for them to grow, and B, for them to take what they need as an owner of a company to successfully live off their finances too.
Will you do billing and payments? Like, can they just say, what, I'm bad at this. I'm really good at building. I'm really good at constructing, but I'm just really bad at this.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of, for us, like the bookkeeping, like I said, it's managing and transacting, categorizing everything that's taking place, but we also do invoicing for clients, which for a lot of these trades professionals is a huge weight to take off. So we come in, we make sure we have a system that works for what they have and what logically works in a billing. And we'll do their invoicing for them as well as their paying their bills for them. So anytime they get a bill from a subcontractor, their electric company, their rent, we're making sure that's being entered into QuickBooks, being categorized, and then we're submitting the payments to also match against what their cash flow works with.
And is it a QuickBooks system where someone can just log in and see what you're seeing so they can check their books at any time, or do they need to make an appointment to?
Yeah, no, so we use QuickBooks Online. There are a couple people that are on desktop, which works more as a file you're sending back and forth, but most of our clients are on QuickBooks Online, and it's what I recommend. And so it means that anybody can see what's happening real time. Whatever I'm doing, they can equally see what's happening. They can log into their books. And the huge benefit of that is that they're able to see it whenever they want to. So we're managing things so up to date for them that by Monday of the following week, they could see everything from last week already categorized and taken care of. They're not waiting 30 to 60 days to understand what's happening.
Now, would they have you as an employee? Do they pay you benefits and overtime and things like that, or?
Nope. So that's the huge benefit. We're not an additional expense for payroll. We act as a subcontractor, and we have a client agreement with them. We set up a payment with them that works, and everything is billed monthly. So they know what they're getting every month. They can budget for it every month, and that amount is customized to what fits their budget, what fits for what they need from us, and then support we provide them all month long. We don't want to bill people for calling us or emailing us or having questions about audits, whether it's tax, workers' comp. So really we try to make it as simple as possible. And with some of our larger clients, we've even found that the cost of having Main Street Virtual to manage their bookkeeping and some of their business management is still cheaper for them than having a full-time employee.
Wow. That, as the tax deadline kind of comes up, other than calling, Main Street Virtual and saying, help me.
Yeah.
What should a small business be doing? And small business, just so, the viewers know, in the United States, small business, I think, is less than 100 employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of folks.
Yeah.
But, they're beginning to think about filing their taxes, whether they should do an extension or not. What should a small business be looking for right now to get ready for this season? But then also, Michaela, what should they be doing now to get ready for 2024?
Yeah, so I mean, to get ready, it's always better to start early. So don't wait until November, December to decide you're going to have a bookkeeper come in and start doing things for you. part of being successful is understanding your finances throughout the entire year, and preparing yourself for tax time means meeting with your CPA early. So a lot of the clients that we start with that come in usually March and April and are like, hey, I didn't do anything last year. I'm definitely going to need help this year going forward, is we sit down with your CPA and we work through what your last year's taxes look like, what your plan is going to be for next year, and then sort of structure and streamline everything that's happening so that tax time A isn't stressful, and B, we're literally handing your books off for filing and there's nothing else that you have to do. The goal is that everything is clean, up to date, immediately goes to your tax firm, they file, and there's nothing else. But a huge component is just having things categorized. You know, you need them to be reported and you need them to be accurate. And the guys who are sticking all their receipts in a shoebox and then handing them off to their tax firm are not going to be the favorite client for that tax firm. And we advise them to really just have everything organized, calculated, so that when you sit down prior to actual filing deadlines, you're good to just pass everything right off.
So you won't prepare the taxes, but you'll prepare the paperwork for the tax professional.
Exactly. Yep. And we work in conjunction with a lot of tax firms. Most of our teams and clients we have go back and forth all year long, so that by the time we get around to tax filing, usually even by early February, we're all on the same page. There's no surprises. Nobody's wondering if things have been added into their QuickBooks or calculated for. But our goal is really to have the client come in, they give us everything, we manage it all year long, so that by the time they go to file, tax firm gets a nice clean set of books and they're good, and there's not 2 months of back and forth trying to track down an expense.
A lot of the over 500 members of the New Hampshire Home Builders Association are micro small businesses.
Mhm.
And sometimes they have a family member that's working with them.
Mhm.
Sometimes they have an in-home office.
Yep.
And so you've got almost these commingled funds of, well, we bought oil or propane for our home.
Yep.
I use part of it for an office. My brother-in-law works for me part-time, and my wife used to do the books, but she threatened divorce. So I'm going to come see you, Michaela, save my marriage.
Yeah.
And they say, and I'll ask the question, if someone comes and says, I need help with my business, but I also need help with my household.
Right.
And try to get things balanced out, because right now they're all out of whack and one's coming to the other. Can you help them with that?
Yeah, so a good way to do that, and what we often do, is meet with your CPA. I want to sit down and make sure that what your business is filing as, what you've been doing for the past years, how you filed before, what the plan is for how they're going to file going forward. It has to be like a 3-part process. Like, all of us have to be on the same page to really make it work. And a lot of times I defer to the CPA to say, like, listen, what do you think is the best solution based on what they've done in the past or what your plans are for them in the future? Because they have a much more in-depth of what their personal finances and filing looks like. But for some clients, we do offer personal financial management. So I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, but we help them manage their personal household so that there's less commingling of the back and forth, and that when they then go for filing, they have clear, definitive lines as to what was personal, what was business, and then where there may be any concern for overlap, home office, utility bills, so that when we have that first meeting, it's simple and easy for everybody to get on the same page.
Because I know a lot of our members have like a rental property or a rental commercial property and things like that. So it tends to sometimes land all in the same checkbook.
Right. Yeah.
We're not going to paint a utopia here where everything's all neat, clean, and tidy. It's
right. In an ideal world, yes, but in a realistic world, no. And I think part of that is by having somebody manage your books, it's a lot easier at the end of the year to have, here's the vendor we paid. We know specifically this was not for our home. We know specifically this was our daughter's daycare or something, because those are going to happen. Even when it's recommended, it doesn't. There's still going to be a time where you grab the wrong card, have the wrong checkbook, and we're able to have that organized. So by the end of the year, there's no question as to what went where. It's already been set up and determined.
What makes your head explode? What do you wish, talking to, thousands of people are going to be viewing this, if you could tell them one piece of advice, or maybe 2, what would it be?
Find the right support. Whether it's somebody like Main Street Virtual or it's somebody who's a project manager, whatever it is that you need in your company, find the right support to allow you to take a step back. Often as small business owners, Even like you said, these micro small business owners, it's them doing everything. And I literally mean everything. And then at the end of this 12 to 14-hour day, they're supposed to go home and be a great dad and be a great husband and have all this extra time for stuff they just don't have time for. And most of the time, a reason you start your small business is because you want to have the time. You want to make your own schedule. You want to be able to have time with your kids and your family. And if you don't have the right support or the right team, it makes it impossible. And when you try to do it, it's overwhelming and stressful. So I think finding the right support in whatever dynamic that really is key for growth, success, happiness, stability.
As we begin winding down this interview, how can people find you?
Yeah, so a number of ways. I'm everywhere, but we have a website, which is just www.mainstreetvirtual.com. On there has the links to our contact us form, our inquiry form, social media. Same thing, we're on there as Main Street Virtual on both Instagram and Facebook. And you can always give us a call. We text, email, call, whatever works the best. Our goal is really to support business owners. And we realize for guys on a job site, sometimes it's easier to just send a text message than try to schedule a Zoom or get in front of an email. So really, that's our goal, to just be as available and supportive as they need.
Michaela, what number should they call you at? And please say it twice.
Yes, so our office number is 603-821-0704, and that's 603-821-0704. And then my personal phone is 207-520-9988. And once again, 207-520-9988. And if you text me, I will definitely respond.
Perfect. But as we head out of this segment, what have you heard from feedback of your clients who were surprised, like, I didn't know you could do that? What about you? What about your business? What about Main Street Virtual that surprises your clients, that makes you smile at the end of the day?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do Main Street Virtual in the first place, is that I really care about my clients. I never want them to feel like a number, and I really want them to feel as supported as they can despite us being virtual. And so I think some of the biggest and best feedback that I really love is clients just feeling supported and feeling like they're cared about. And we celebrate birthdays for clients. We celebrate wins they have every time they, land a new client or they have a great job that finishes. And I really want them to feel like I'm their personal cheerleader. I'm helping with their books and I'm helping with their back end management, but ultimately I'm here for them. I want to make it so they have the time to go home and be with their kids, be with their wife, take a vacation every now and then, and support them as they do that and celebrate them as they do.
Friends, we've been talking to Michaela Gordon, the president, CEO, founder, grand poobah of Main Street Virtual. Help you with the back end of your business, help your business grow, get some more time with your family, because you did promise one of your New Year's resolution was spend more time with your family. So Michaela's going to help you keep that. But contact Main Street Virtual. The contact information is there. She's easy to find. She's amazing, dynamic, gregarious, fun, and smart. That always helps. So Michaela Gordon, Main Street Virtual, thank you for being with us today. And
thank you.
We'll see you again.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much, Matt.
My pleasure.